Morning, everyone. Well done to those of you who submitted your reading work yesterday. I'm just going to go through, first of all, the answers to the lesson yesterday and give you some feedback, and then I will show you what we'd like you to do in today's lesson. So my first question I asked you yesterday is, what can you infer from looking at the book cover? And can you give evidence? Do the colours give you any clue? And does the title give you any clue? So if I start with the title is The Peculiar Pegs of Riddling Woods. Now, my first inference would be thinking about the word peculiar. And if I'm unlocking what the word means, I know from my SPAG knowledge that that has to be an adjective because it's after a determiner and it's before a noun. And if something is peculiar, then the closest synonym to that word would be strange. So something I can infer possibly this book is about something strange because of the word peculiar. If I look at the front cover, I know I can infer that they're in a woods because I can see trees, and it looks like the trees are quite bare, which could give me a clue as to what time of year it is. It could be autumn, um, or beginning of spring when the trees when the leaves are coming off the trees. I'm looking at the two people here. I'm thinking possibly this girl looks younger than the boy or man here. I can't really infer how old they are, but that would be my closest inference. They're both not looking at each other. They're actually looking away from each other. They look like they've been startled or a bit spooked by something. So I can infer they look a bit scared or possibly frightened about what might be in this woods. Um, Very strange inference. I can see things around the book cover which look like people. And again, it looks a little bit like they're falling. So I can infer, particularly looking at this person's face and this person's face here, they look very scared. The colour, I'm not sure I can really infer anything with the colour. Doesn't really give me any clues as to what this text is about, the colour really. And then I asked you to unlock these words, and I'm just going to quickly go through what these words mean before we read the text. So the first word, flushed, referring to someone's cheeks. Now, I know from my knowledge that cheeks is a noun, so the word flushed must be an adjective. And the root word is the word flush. So if something is flushed, it means, well, in this context, if we're talking about someone's cheeks, it means that they're a bit red. So the picture I've chosen, the two pictures here I've chosen, are this emoji and somebody's cheeks here looking really red. Now you can infer from that how somebody actually feels as well, which I won't go into now, but think about actually if someone's cheeks were flushed, what does that mean you can infer about how they feel? Then the word hurtling was another word that I asked you to unlock. The root word is the word hurtle. You should have worked out it's a verb. And if something's hurtling towards the ground, like this rock here, it means it's going really, really quickly. So the word hurtling means to move quickly. Then we've got the word corduroy dress. Now again, you should know that the word dress is a noun. Therefore, the word before it has to be an adjective. And it's actually a type of material, often the material used to make these types of dresses. Quite a strong material, but it's a type of material that looks like this. And then the other word here, secrete away all things. Now, if you're secreting something, it means you're getting rid of it. So it's a verb. So it means to get rid of something. And then the other words, the next word is the word fumbled. You fumbled around. Now, again, you should know that the word in this sentence, you is a pronoun. Fumbled, the root word is fumble. It's a verb. and it means really to mess around. So I've sort of got a picture here of some children that look like they're messing around. That's what it means. It means to mess around. And then the final word, the word chugged. Poppy's heart chugged. Now I actually think of a train really when I hear the word chugged, or an engine, the engine's chugging. Um, so you should know here that the word heart is a noun, and in this context and this sentence, the word chugged is a verb. The root word would be chug, and a synonym for it that's quite tricky, but I would say it means to sort of move um, quite fast or slow. It depends on the context really, but we'll have a look at the text now and read. So hopefully you unlocked all of those words correctly. Um, Now, lesson 2, which is today's lesson, we're going to start by reading the text. So I'm just going to get the blind so we can read. And remember, when we read this text, you can obviously play the video back and you can pause. You can re-listen to the story to check that you understand, or you can just pause it on your screen so that you can look at the page. Okay, let's start reading. Poppy had been worried for a long time. Stretching her neck, she pressed her flushed cheek and the side of her nose against the cold glass of the train window, and tried to focus her eyes on the little stones and tracks hurtling past below. Breathe, she said to herself, breathe. That was she that was what she knew to do whenever her heart began to play that little game where it thought Poppy was galloping up a mountain when she really wasn't. I'm not worried, she told her reflection firmly. Her reflection had slate blue eyes and short, inquisitive hair, the colour of rust and bricks, just like she did. Although she didn't think her actual arms were as pointy at the elbows or as skinny as the ones she could see in her window. Wrestling her jacket out of her backpack, she hauled it over the top of her bottle green cardi to hide the enormously pointed elbows. The cardi was something of her own creation, and it hung over her favourite tangerine-coloured corduroy dress like a bit of moss on an old tree. The dress had 2 wonderfully big pockets at the front, which were large enough to secrete away all manner of useful things, and Poppy liked to wear it when she was in a creative mood or travelling long distances. "Look out for Mumbling Marley," read a wonky line of graffiti on the wall of the carriage. She wondered spitefully if whoever had spent half an hour gouging it into the plastic was aware that "look out," when employed as a verb, was 2 separate words. Stop being so boring, she thought. Poppy had only brought one backpack with her to Gran's. After all, she was only staying in Suds for 2 weeks of the summer holidays, while Dad was away, so she hadn't packed a whole lot of stuff. She'd had that backpack since a very long time ago. She wasn't the kind of person who needed new things. After all, who wanted new things? Everyone except Poppy. To Poppy, new things meant new smells. New shoes meant new blisters. A new backpack meant lodging the sharp end of your drawing compass beneath your ruler. She didn't like new. In order for something to be new, something else had to be old, and that in turn meant the whole thing might very well be forgotten. As with most train journeys that are northbound, the countryside became wilder and greener. The busy patchwork of fields ebbed away into quiet, untamed brushstrokes of leaves and wood, peppered with white flashes from where the chalk seams that ran through this part of the country raised their powdery heads above the surface. She tried to phone Gran as the train pulled out of the next station to remind her of when to come and collect her, but Gran didn't answer. Gran hardly ever answered. Poppy wasn't worried, though. She said to herself again, I'm not worried, because amongst all the things Gran never did was forgetting. Gran never forgot. The train rounded a bend, and up ahead Poppy watched as the caterpillar-like succession of carriages vanished into a tunnel up ahead. Poppy's carriage soon flickered to black. She held her breath and counted 8 seconds before the train shot out at the other end. She and Mum would do that in the car when they went through tunnels in London. The longest they'd managed was 43 seconds. Poppy's heart chugged in time to the train's engine. Okay, so we've got a character called Poppy, and I don't want to give away the answers because your tasks are the following. So task number 1, I'd like you to retrieve these 4 questions from the text, and all of the answers are in the text. Where is Poppy? What is she wearing? Who does she try to phone? And how long was the train in the tunnel for? Then a creative task for you to have a go at, task 2. Draw a picture of what Poppy looks like based on what you've read. Label your inferences around the picture. So what colours is she wearing? What does she look like? There's a really good description at the beginning of her. And task 3 for you to have a go at today, please, is how does Poppy feel to be on the train? Explain your answer and give evidence. So see if you can come up with perhaps 3 emotions on this side and 3 pieces of evidence from the text to back up your point. And there's some steps to success there for you to look at and to help you as you work. As I said yesterday, have a great day. I'll go through the answers tomorrow, and message us on eSchools or Twitter if you get stuck, and please submit me your work. Have a great day, and I will chat to you tomorrow. Bye.